What if there's a chance that you were immortal? Would you love the idea, or would you be repulsed by it? In this video, we're going to take a glance into the world of quantum immortality. Quantum mechanics is such a broad spectrum that it has left so many interpretations as to how it actually works. It leaves open-ended questions such as, is the universe actually a multiverse? What universe is real and which is a simulation? Is the universe split every time we make a decision? Can we truly be immortal? But quantum mechanics say you might actually be immortal. Then again, maybe not. Some people might have wondered about this, and some just don't believe such outright deception. But this is what science is, and science aims to prove. So what is quantum mechanics? Quantum mechanics is a very big and important part of the theory of how the universe began. Quantum mechanics can also help us to understand big things, such as stars and even the whole universe. It predicts that there are countless versions of you running around in what could be an infinite number of parallel universes. As a result, it would help us understand scientifically if we truly are immortal. This then leads us to quantum immortality theory. The quantum immortality theory, or the quantum suicide theory, was proposed in the year 1997 by Max Tegmark. Tegmark uses these parallel universes to argue that you might actually be immortal. Allow me to explain this theory with its popular experiment. Imagine a man sitting down before a gun that is pointed at his head. However, this is no ordinary gun, as it is rigged to a machine that measures the spin of a quantum particle. This simply means that every time the trigger is pulled, the spin of the quantum particle is measured. Now, depending on the measurement of the quantum particle, the gun will either fire or it won't. If the quantum particle is measured as spinning in a clockwise motion, the gun will fire. And if it is measured as spinning counterclockwise, then the gun won't go off. There will only be a click sound. Now, let's imagine the man sitting in front of the gun, holding it, and then pulling the trigger. The gun clicks. Lucky him, he's alive. He pulls the trigger again, and it clicks again, and again. The man will continue to pull the trigger and get the same result, just a click sound. The gun won't fire. It is important to note that the gun is functioning properly, and it is indeed loaded with bullets. But no matter how many times he pulls the trigger, the gun won't fire, and the process will continue for eternity, making him immortal. But wait, we're not done yet. Let's go back in time to the beginning of the experiment. This time, the man pulls the trigger for the first time, and with the quantum particle now spinning clockwise, the gun fires, and the man is dead. I know you might be wondering, didn't this man already pull the trigger the first time, and countless times after, and he didn't die because the gun didn't fire? So how can the man be dead? Interestingly, the man is unaware that he's both dead and alive. Here's how it works. Each time he pulls the trigger, the universe is split in two, over and over, as long as the trigger is being pulled. One where he's dead, and another where he's alive. Now, this was Tegmark's theory. It is a thought experiment that is called quantum suicide. A thought experiment, like the name implies, is an experiment that only takes place in the mind. Here, the quantum level is the smallest level of matter ever detected in the universe. It is so minuscule that scientists can't research it in a manner using traditional methods of scientific inquiry. So you might ask, how is it possible? One straight answer is that life is a probability, because pulling the trigger has two outcomes, and according to Tegmark's theory, the universe splits to accommodate each possible outcome. In one universe, the man dies, and in the other, a version of the man continues to live completely unaware of his death in other parallel universes. The man exists infinitely and achieves immortality. This is the quantum immortality theory. But it begs the question, if the man is unaware he is dead in other parallel universes, how would he know he is immortal in his current life or another parallel universe? Because scientists cannot use scientific methods to study the quantum level, they use thought experiments. And although these experiments are only carried out hypothetically, they are rooted in the data observed in quantum physics. The quantum suicide thought experiment seeks to prove what has become an increasingly accepted interpretation of quantum physics, the many worlds theory. According to the many worlds theory, first proposed in 1957 by Hugh Everett, for every possible outcome to an action, the world splits into a copy of itself. It's like choosing your own adventure. So rather than choosing to bungee jump or skydive, the universe splits in two so that each action is taken. The many worlds theory, however, contradicts another quantum theory, the Copenhagen interpretation. The Copenhagen interpretation says that a quantum particle doesn't exist in one state or another, but in all of its possible states at once. This theory takes the observer out of the equation because it is only when we observe its state that a quantum particle is then forced to choose a state. Copenhagen's interpretation of quantum mechanics was theoretically proven by a famous thought experiment involving a cat and a box. You may have heard of Schrödinger's cat. It was first introduced by the Viennese physicist Erwin Schrödinger. In the theoretical experiment, Schrödinger put his cat in a box along with a bit of radioactive material and a device for detecting radiation, a Geiger counter. The Geiger counter was designed so that when it sensed the decay of the radioactive material, it would trigger a hammer that was already poised to break a flask containing the radioactive material, which, when released, would kill the cat. In the experiment, the cat is sealed in a box. Well, in there, the state of the cat is unknown, and since it could not be observed, it cannot be said whether the cat was alive or dead. So it exists in the state of both life and death. The many worlds interpretation has no issues with Copenhagen's interpretation of the cat being dead or alive. It would simply just say that the cat is both dead and alive in different universes. Theoretically, both thought experiments have their merits and demerits. Take for instance in the many worlds theory. In another parallel universe, Adolf Hitler was successful in his campaign to conquer the world. Or in another universe, the 9/11 incident never took place. Despite the potential benefits, the many worlds interpretation faces two impossible challenges. For one, there's no way to test the experiment, which makes it unfalsifiable, and more a question for philosophy than for science. Secondly, it is a totally crazy idea, as it goes against every last shred of intuition that we have known about our world. Though it doesn't mean it is wrong. For now, it's just a thought experiment. But in our world today, some people believe in quantum immortality because they believe it has happened to them. For instance, if you have experienced a near-fatal accident or survived a serious illness, then quantum immortality suggests that you may have died. One explanation is that you may have experienced death in another timeline, but your consciousness continued in an alternate reality. Allow me to share accounts of people who believe they have experienced quantum immortality. A man, let's call him Jared, experiences a near head-on collision with another truck, but with a stroke of luck, the accident is averted. Jared thought for sure that this was supposed to be an accident, but he just couldn't explain how it was averted. But as he brushed off the one-time seizure episode, Jared noticed other strange things that began to happen in the days that followed. His friendly boss became an alcoholic and mean at work. Strangers became more impatient and impolite. Things became more difficult for him. He believed that something happened after that near accident, and he was living in an alternate reality. Many more people have reported disturbing experiences, such as family members behaving strangely, lifelong friends moving away without notice, and even physical changes in their own bodies. Max Tegmark's Quantum Immortality suggests that we may die many times throughout our lives, but with each passing, our consciousness moves, slides, jumps, or shifts to the closest timeline, allowing us to live forever. Well, many skeptics may not agree. Some are not so quick to dismiss the idea. Before we go on, if you've been enjoying this video so far, let us know by hitting the like button. For more videos like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification so you never miss an upload. Some others have said that sometimes there is a glitch between two lives. This is what has been come to be explained as déjà vu, because typically switching timelines should be seamless. However, there are so many more possible realities that are identical to the one you're experiencing, and people have pointed out to these glitches as evidence of the shift. Sometimes the changes are personal, while other times they are shared. This shared experience is what is called the Mandela effect. According to Eugene Wigner's friend test, recent experiments provide evidence that individuals can share different yet equally valid realities. I know this is probably a lot to wrap your mind around, but there is hope that quantum immortality may be tested. I guess all we'll have to do is wait and see if it had happened in our universe. And while we may not be able to prove these theories, the film industry is doing a great job of taking our imaginations on wild tours of different multiverses with movies such as Russian Doll, Ant-Man, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and many other multiverse movies. As we wait to see if quantum immortality will ever be tested, let the questions and doubts lingering in your mind expand your vision and shift your perspective towards the infinite possibilities that the universe has to offer. But as much as I am curious about whether parallel universes exist, or whether I'm immortal, I am not dying to find out.